Yes, people, welcome back to Arsenal with Ash. I'm here to review our 1-0 defeat at Anfield away to Liverpool. And I'd be lying if I said I'm not deflated. I'm deflated. It feels absolutely rubbish. Honestly, it's the worst time to lose a football match as well. International break, 2 weeks now, I've got to sit on this defeat. And I just feel flat, man. You lose to your title rivals. There was nothing in the game. They score a wonder free kick that he's probably not going to score again. And it's just like, the game's just gone just like that. But it's frustrating, man. But we move. In terms of the lineup, when the lineup came out, I was a bit frustrated when I saw that Odegaard weren't in the team and Eze weren't in the team. If you saw my preview, I said one of them's got to be in the team. But none of them were in the team. They were both on the bench. We started with Marino in midfield. We started with an industrial midfield of Dek, Zubimendi and Marino. There's no creativity there. We started with Martinelli on the left, which I wasn't mad at in terms of he got a good record against Liverpool. Defensively, he'll do a job, help Calafiori out with Salah. And then Noni on the right, I wasn't mad at that either. But it was literally just one change I would have made, which would have been either Eze or Odegaard in the central area. And yeah, we didn't do that. But in terms of the game, the first half, we pretty much controlled. They didn't cause us any problems. We didn't create too many chances ourselves, but we looked a threat, especially on the right-hand side with Noni. He was looking a threat, and I was actually quite happy with what I saw from him. But we were comfy. We were absolutely comfortable. The game plan, I understood it. And to be fair with you, Arteta was right to do that, because Marino will be sitting there and do a job similar to Odegaard in terms of the pressing and the defensive work. And you can't expect someone like Eze to just come into the team after a few days of training to go and do that in such a massive game. Because if one player's presses off, it will leave holes, and a team like Liverpool will exploit that with ease. So I wasn't too mad. When I saw the first half going on, I was thinking, this isn't too bad. It's not too bad. But as we got into the second half, I was thinking, right, we've stayed in it for the first 45 minutes. We've controlled it. We look comfortable. They ain't caused us any threats. They're not on it either. Let's get to 60 minutes like this and make the changes. But we didn't. We didn't make the changes at 60 minutes. I think we made the change. Well, I'm talking about the Eze change, by the way. We didn't make that change until I think about 75th minute. By then, Liverpool had stepped it up a level. They'd come out from the second half and looked a bit better. They were starting to cause a few problems. So by the time Eze came into the game, they were kind of dominating the ball. We had our backs against the wall a little bit. They still weren't creating clear-cut chances, but we had our backs to the wall a little bit. So I don't even think he touched the ball for the first 5-10 minutes. So it's not enough time for him to get in the game. And same with Odegaard, to get in the game and make a difference. Yes, we saw him when he did get the ball, you could see the difference. You could see the class. But again, it's just not enough time. And then, yeah, we concede a goal to an absolute wonder free kick from Szoboszlai. Like, it's funny because when he stood over that free kick, I thought to myself, you know what? He's going to hit this, man. And this guy can strike a football. Like, he was known for that before he joined Liverpool. And he hasn't really shown it there. But I just had a feeling he's been having a good game out of position. There's not really a wall there. He's just going to hit it. And it's straight on. It's yeah, and the ball's just and top corner, and it's a great goal. And we couldn't really recover from that. So yeah, it was looking like we were staring down the barrel of a draw. And that would have been a fair result, because in terms of offensive threat from either side, nothing really. We both cancelled each other out. Defensively, both teams were really good. But yeah, they had that wonder moment, and we unfortunately lose the game. So it's not something where there's some catastrophic thing to look at and a disaster, and we need to change this and we need to get in the market and do a madness on the last day. No, it was just unfortunate. And obviously we've got the injuries. After the break, I'm expecting hopefully some of them will be back. We can get Eze starting football matches because Martinelli's not good enough. And we can go on a run and do something special this season, because I truly believe we can. But yeah, it is definitely deflating to lose that one, especially our record in the big games has been A1 for the last couple of seasons. And we go to Anfield and we perform quite well. And we play a team that didn't really play that well. We nullified them and they score a wonder goal and win the game. It just stinks, man. It absolutely stinks. But yeah, we move. So on to the player ratings. David Raya in goal, didn't have too much to do. He did fumble a shot from, I think it was from Wirtz in the second half, which ended up in the net, but it was offside. But apart from that, he didn't really have too much to do. He plucked a couple of corners out of the sky. He obviously the goal, he stood no chance. He absolutely stood no chance. I see some people trying to criticise him for his height and all that. Obviously, that's not his own fault. But I don't even think. I think the strike is just world class, and we have to just accept that. So yeah, David Raya doesn't really get any. I think on the ball, actually, he was a little bit sloppy, and his pass selection at times was very, very risky, and I didn't love it. And there was one time it could have led to a goal. So I will criticise him for that, actually. But yeah, so all in all, I'll probably give him maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. Timber on the right hand side had a really good battle over there with Gakpo. I think he kind of nullified him. He done his job. He tried to get forward as much as he could, drive through the middle. I think his selection in the final third could have been a bit better, but I thought he had a good game. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Saliba, we saw go off with an injury. I'm hearing it's just a sprained ankle. He should be pulling out of the France squad, but I expect with a sprained ankle, he should be back for the next game, if not the one after. So I was a bit worried that it was going to be a muscle injury at first, but yeah, hopefully he'll be okay. I'm not going to give him a rating, but I will be giving Mosquera a rating because he was fantastic. What a debut for the young man to come at Anfield and produce a performance like that. Absolutely pocketed Ekitike, won pretty much all of his duels, played, like, even on the ball, he looks comfy and composed. What an amazing deal that has been. 15 mil for that top talent. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10, and I'm also going to give him my man of the match for Arsenal because I thought he was fantastic. Gabriel with Mosquera, I wouldn't want Mosquera to have made that debut at Anfield with anyone else because he was brilliant. When I say debut, obviously, I mean in terms of a full debut. Normally they talk about a start, but I know he had some minutes last week, but I count this as his proper debut. But yeah, Gabriel was brilliant alongside him, nullified all of their threats. They didn't cause us any problems at all, and he had a good game. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Calafiori, I'm going to give ratings to as well, because I think defensively, that was my concern, was him against Salah. But he nullified him. Salah didn't get anything out of him. And going forward, he was confident on the ball, inverting, hitting the channels. I thought he had a good game, so I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 as well. Zubimendi in the first half was very good, getting on that ball, kept us ticking, winning the ball as well, snapping into challenges. Like, he's a proper good footballer. I think second half he tailored off a little bit, but yeah, I think he had a good game. I'm happy with his performance. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Deck, I don't think was too great. I think he was nice. He sorted in nicely there with at the base of midfield with Zubimendi, but I think he could have been a bit better on the ball. He could have driven forward with the ball a bit more. I think his corners were a little bit off as well when he was taking them. But yeah, I'm sure he'll definitely improve. There's no worries about Deck. But I'm gonna give him probably a 6.5 out of 10. Marino, a lot of people criticised him, but I don't think he done too bad. I really don't think he done too bad. Like I said, when I was reviewing the actual game itself, I think it was the right decision to have him in there. He gives us that physical edge in midfield. Yes, he's not the creative monster that we need, but that's not what he's there for. And yeah, he tried his best to link the play, made some nice passes, was controlling the ball really well, like alongside Deck and Zubimendi. And I thought he had a decent game, and he done what we needed him to do. He got us to that 60th, 70th minute mark where we can go and bring on Eze and Odegaard. But unfortunately, like I said, the game went how it went. But yeah, I'm not too mad at how Marino performed, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. On the left, Martinelli was shocking. He was absolutely shocking, man. I'm done. I'm done with him. He was rubbish. Just absolute. His first chance at going one-on-one, he just flops it. Doesn't do anything. Tries to make a silly pass and loses the ball. There's an opportunity where he's driving through. He's ignored Gyökeres's run, gone on his own. If you're going to do that, do something. Do something. But he lost the battle to Konate and lost the ball again. It was just absolutely no threat at all. And you saw it in the little moment Eze had when he came on, he just done so much more than him. So yeah, Martinelli was rubbish. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Gyökeres I thought was okay. I thought he was a lot better than at Old Trafford. He had a good battle out there with Konate mainly. Was winning a couple of fouls. held up the ball a couple of times, linked the play. So I thought technically he was actually a little bit better. And it surprised me actually. He didn't get any sniff at goal. His runs were getting ignored again. But yeah, I thought he had a decent game and he worked with what he could work with. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Noni, I thought had a good game. I thought he had a good game, especially in the first half. He was cool. He had a good battle out there with Kirkes. I think obviously I've said this before. His final decision making is inconsistent, but he's a threat, and I feel a little bit safe with him being there instead of when Saka's injured. So yeah, I think there's a lot to come from Noni, and I'm pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to give him probably a 7.5 out of 10. And off the bench, we saw... Who did we see come off the bench? Apart from Mosquera, we saw Odegaard come off the bench. Couldn't really get into the game. I'll probably give him a standard 5 out of 10. Eze had a couple of bright moments. I think he should have actually let his shot off quicker when he went down from the Gomez challenge. He should have let his shot off quicker. But I'm not going to criticise him too much. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. And then we saw Downman come on, didn't really get a chance either. Had a couple of battles, but he actually was losing them to Kirk. I think it was Kirkes that won the ball off with him, and maybe Gakpo another time. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it was amazing to see the show of faith from Arteta to bring him on in that scenario. So big him up. But yeah, we lost the game. Ultimately, we lost the game. We lost to a title rival. It's not a nice feeling. We need to get back when we get to the Emirates against them later in the season. But it's not the end of the world at all. Nowhere near. We've only conceded 1 goal. We've conceded a wonder goal. We've had a decent start to this season. After the break, we go again. Forest at home. Go and get those 3 points, and then we play Man City, and then I think it's Newcastle. So yeah, tough start continues. But yeah, I'm not going to be too mad at the team for that game there. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. International break now, so yeah, make sure you stay tuned to my content over the next couple of weeks. Because even though there's no club football on, we'll still be producing some content. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. And I'll see you for the next one.